to do a quick flip through of my FauxBonichi, and I have some stuff to share. I'm going to try to do it on the setup I've got going on here, but it may shake it too much, so we'll find out. If it doesn't, then you'll see this video. If it does, you won't see this video. But anyways, this is pretty much where we left off last time. Was January 6th, and I was going to just do these once a month, but I get a lot of requests to have them sooner, so I thought I'd just go ahead and do it. This was the stencil week in our FauxBonichi group, and so on this page I had done some perfect pearls with some what's it called, molding paste, and ran it through a stencil. The next day I had done some distress ink in the background with a stencil, and I'm answering a question of the day every day, which has been really fun, and I like how this one turned out. I used some stencils that I haven't used in, or it's not stencils, some stamps that haven't used in forever, like never, and so that was fun to dig out some of my stamps, and I've been doing some doodling. The question of the day was, what last good thing that you ate? And it's always going to be the answer of sushi. I also used up some rub-ons and that kind of stuff, and was trying some doodlies here, and yeah, it's all kind of the same, but it's all just different. So if you as always, if you have any questions, let me know. This was Friday the 9th, and I do a giveaway every week on our challenge, and so this was our first winner of the challenge, and so I sent her out her prize package. This was the first time I had used napkins on a page, and I think it turned out really well. I like how it looks, and I tried a stencil with some jelly roll pen. And yeah, I like how that page turned out. Nice and bright. The back is Inktense. The background is Inktense, and I love my Inktense. Especially if you're using these thinner paper journals, I highly recommend the Inktense. Of course, I back all mine because I'm trying to get through all my paper, but if you don't do that, the Inktense is still the best coloring medium that I can recommend to use in them, besides just regular colored pencils. Another stamp set that I used, that I've never used ever, and in fact I think I'm going to eventually give that stamp set away, so we'll see how that goes. But they asked me what made me smile today, and these are the things that made me smile today, and I was coloring with my Inktense pencils, and I didn't water any of that down, so that's kind of how that turned out. And these are all from a book, a quote book, that I'm going to try to work through this year. Think Happy, Be Happy, and it's just lots of different quote pages. And so when I don't have, this has been a really busy month for me, so I haven't had a lot of time to play with my alphas and get those up, so I've just been putting a quote here. And I used some nail art stickers. Also, I dotted all of you can't really see it, but all of the flowers got dotted with nail polish as dots instead of enamel dots. I used nail polish, and I really like how that turned out. I'm still doing the document.
It's 12:30.
It's 12:30. I'm still doing the documented life project, and so this was gesso and beginnings was the basics of this last week's prompt, and so this is what I came out with. It's Inktense that I blended with gesso, and then I had before I did any of the background on it, I had run it through my silhouette with my micron pen so that I could have it waterproof, and then I went over it with the micron pen again to darken it back up. And then it was also gesso, so I gessoed with some stencils and stuff like that. So I like how that turned out. And so I had a lot to say here, but not a lot to decorate here. This was Sunday. Sundays are harder for me to journal. The weekends are hard for me to journal. And so that was just a bunch of journaling and another page out of that same book. This one was my mistake day. I had made a background in my little art journal thingy that I'm practicing playing with my stuff with. I had made this background with a baby wipe and Inktense pencils, and so I had dried out the baby wipe and put it on here, and then I had used Crayola markers with one of those. I don't know what I did with it, but you hook it to your marker and it turns your marker into a spray bottle. And so I had done that, and it turned out really great, and luckily I took a picture of it before I blew it. And then I got the brilliant idea to spray my perfume on it because it was a baby wipe. I thought it would store the perfume over time longer, and it blended out my sprays into this mucky mess that looks like mold, if you ask me. But anyways, it was what is making you mad, and so that was one of the things that made me mad. But this week we're doing frames on our challenge on the FauxBonichi group, and so this was my frame for the day, and the next frame I cut out on my silhouette and used it in here. So I thought that turned out pretty good, and found some flatter puffy stickers that worked in there really well. No frame today, but I did play with gelatos, and they are not my favorite medium. I find them really, really hard to work with, and so they are not my favorite. Plus they're not permanent once they dry, so I did have to spray this with some matte fix. Basically I used this one and sprayed over it, and then it also smoothened it out so I could write over it once I did. And then I took a stencil with some gesso and stenciled the butterflies and stuff. I've had a good time just playing with art in this. This is what my basis is art and journaling, but I didn't want it to be an art journal. I wanted it to be more in the FauxBonichi style, so that's why I like it this way. But so I got to try with that, and it reaffirmed that I'm not a huge gelato fan. On this page, I decided to figure out how to put tip ends in, and so this was kind of my frame for the day, if you will. And I just took a card and I sliced it up and it's my weigh-in day, so I put my information on the back of that. And then just some doodling and that kind of stuff. I thought it turned out pretty cool. I try to add tip ends more often, and I always just kind of forget. And then this was Inktense border. I kind of did a challenge with myself to do it with distress markers and Crayola markers and Inktense, and the Inktense one, and so I did that all with the Inktense. This one is done with just plain Crayola markers, the cheapy Crayola markers. It turned out like that. And then I didn't journal anything yesterday. It was not a journaling day. Josh and I had schoolwork all weekend. It's been kind of a frustrating weekend for me, and so I don't know, I don't journal when I'm in a bad mood. I just didn't have anything to say here. But this is also done in Crayola. They're just these cheap Crayola super tip crayon markers, and with a watercolor, with a brush and water. And that's all that is. And then this week's prompt for the documented life was, there was a whole thing. It was color wheel, and then there was like, what is color, something to do with color, what color stands for you, or something along that lines. I don't know. I'm usually loosely interpreting these. And so this is the page that I came up with my other word for the year is color. I have two words for the year. One is simplify. This one is color. Or my other one is color, and color is what I want to change about my outside life and inside life. So that was the page. I did it. I tried to do a bokeh, B-O-K-E-H style with the dots and stuff, and it didn't work. For me, anyways. I should have used paint, and I used ink instead, and then that didn't work, so I have a stencil that I just did some white paint, and I think it turned out alright. And then I just splattered with Inktense. All of this is done in Inktense. And then there's today's, which shows you how far I've gotten on today's. And yeah, so that is where I am sitting in my FauxBonichi, and I kind of wanted, well, not kind of, I wanted to show you something I figured out, and I'm sure other people have done it. My book is getting very, very thick, as you can tell. And so I usually keep it open with binder clips. That seems to work really good. But when I was at the Dollar Tree, I saw these headbands, and they have a rubber to them, and so they grip the page really well, and they come in all these fun colors. So I took the charm that Audrey made for me. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. And I tied it into the band, and so I'm trying to do this without shaking the table. And it holds, because it's got the little rubberized grippy in it, it holds, it doesn't slide at all, and it holds the page beautifully, and then my charm hangs off the bottom and adds a little weight to it, and I really, really like how that turned out. And so if you have a Dollar Tree near you or have seen these, they're grippy, and they come in black and brown, I think, too. They work really good as if you have a thick book like this. You could probably like double it if you had a thinner book, and so I like that. The last thing I have to share is I have a giveaway. Audrey, who makes these beautiful charms that she sends to me, they're just gorgeous. They, you know, you can hang them off at anything. I keep them hung off my FauxBonichi, but she's also given me ones that I have hanging in my car because they're so pretty. They shine in the light, and they're just beautiful. But she was gracious enough to send me some, and so I'm going to have a couple of giveaways, and today I'm going to give away this one. And all you have to do is leave a comment. This is what it looks like. I don't know if I'm going to set it down here. It's got all these, the key and these beautiful beads and this beautiful heart bead, and it's just beautiful. Can I say beautiful enough? But this is her information, and all of this will be listed below. But if you want a chance to win this charm for your book, you can put it on anything. It's got a lobster clasp at the top of it, and so you can hang it off of anything, off your keys, off your journals, whatever you want to do. She is into the Midoris, and so she has a lot of these things hung on her Midori, and it's just beautiful. It's fun, and it makes me smile. So if you'd like a chance to win this charm, just leave me a comment below, and let's see. Anybody who leaves a comment on this video gets to be entered, unless you specifically ask not to be entered. But everybody, no matter what you say, you don't have, I mean, it doesn't matter what you say. Although if you say a bad thing, I'm probably not going to draw you. But just leave a comment on this. It can say pretty much anything, and you'll be entered in the drawing. I will draw for a winner on Wednesday, and get this mailed out to you. USA only. I'm sorry, but that's just it, USA only. And yeah, leave question, comments, whatever below. Likes are always welcome. I appreciate that, and you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.